Everybody was here.
Yeah.
Beautiful screen.
This means you all have to behave yourself, so you're being recorded.
Au contraire.
The most fun is when you're not behaving yourself and you're being recorded.
You assume we have any shame at all.
I make no such assumption. I'm hoping that we don't have any shame at all.
This is
That's
great.
not allowed, but funny stories, yes.
Yes.
Are invited, absolutely. Well, maybe it looks like the pace of, oh, Michael. Okay, so we're still getting some additions, but
I don't.
maybe we'll just begin. And I'm Agnes Mura. I know so many of you.
I'm not touching it.
Special welcome to Sammy and Brian and Bethany and Jack and Todd and other members of Suzi's family. We're so hoping that we'd get to share this morning with you. Afternoon. I'm in New Mexico, so it's still morning. And hello, Janine. Janine and I will lightly moderate your contributions with the wise interventions of Bill and Bill Berquist. Hello, Bill. I'm so glad, despite the storm, you were able to be here, and Kathleen as well, because it's ultimately your fault that we're here. So it's so much due to you that we can celebrate Suzi today. Because it's not such an obvious connection, a word about the Lee Salmon Sustainable Leadership Award before we go into the comments towards Suzi. I myself was honored to receive the Lee Salmon Sustainable Leadership Award in 2022. And not because I had an inside track, although I had known Lee since we were young and spiritual seekers in the 70s, learning how to become the best human beings we could be. And then Lee would become a health physicist for the EPA and an executive coach working with federal government staff in DC. And Suzi and many others here today remember him for helping us build the International Consortium for Coaching in Organizations as a solid board member who truly believed in the transformational power of coaching. So Lee passed away about 10 years ago, and the award in his name was created so as to recognize lifetime achievements of coaches like Suzi, people who guarantee the sustained continuity of the profession. The sustainability comes from solid values and spiritual foundations. Like Suzi's done the work, right? With the people who are in this tribe have done the inner work and have a profound caring for others and for their success. And in Suzi's case, also contagious collaborative generosity towards colleagues of different generations and different abilities and levels of competence, as I'm sure you'll all confirm. So Lee would be very proud that we all came together as friends today in appreciating Suzi Pomerantz, the tireless and the inspiring Suzi Pomerantz. So maybe it's time to raise your hands, your little digital hands, and we will give you the floor, or I mean the screen, I mean the audio, I mean
Whatever this is.
Communicating, smoke signals, whatever. And there are also some written comments that we've received, which we might intersperse into the conversation. But the floor is open, and if you would like to share some of your stories and your memories.
It's part of a puzzle, actually. Kind of a puzzle thing.
So Jack, do you realize that we can hear you? Does that mean you want to start in talking about this person you know so well?
Well, I think Ken has his hand
And
up.
has its
Yes,
hand
he
up.
does.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
Ken is being polite. I think we need to honor him being polite. So he's number one.
Exactly.
Which does bring us to a couple of the housekeeping things. It is to keep your mic muted and
Oh, really? It's
background
60
noise in
minutes.
the background. And the second thing is, if in fact you know that you can't stay much beyond the hour, that move to the front of the line as you offer your comments. And I wasn't really teasing when I said as much mischief as we can do, we would love to hear about our Susie. So let's go ahead and start with that hand having been raised.
Ken, you have the floor.
So I'm not planning to do much mischief. Apologies in advance, but I was thinking a bit about Suzi before the call and thinking, what would I say? I've known this woman. I was trying to figure out when we met, and it was at where I met a lot of you actually, which was the Executive Coaching Summit, I think back in 2001. So 23 years ago. I'm like blown away because I am not that old. But I remember meeting, and the one thing I remember, the story I remember was we got to be almost instant friends. And I remember walking out a door and looking at Suzi and saying, I saw a picture of you on your website or something, and it does not look like you. And so I need to take a picture that looks like you. And I remember pulling out, I don't know if that time I had a phone or a digital camera, but I took a photo, and I remember you used that photo for a little while. And I said, this looks like you. You need to use this photo. So that's my little personal story, but I just want to appreciate Suzi. We have been in touch, I don't know, monthly for I can't even remember how long.
Yeah.
Years and years and years as buddies. And I just want to appreciate a few things. One is her incredible wisdom. She's always been like one of the youngest coaches, but so far advanced for her age. Number one, always her intuition about people, just the way she gets insights about things. I've always appreciated her entrepreneurial spirit is like beyond just go, 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 go all the time. And finally, and I'm so glad her kids are on the call, I see her as an incredible, so dedicated mother, and caring for her family in such deep and wonderful ways. So those are the things that stand out to me. I wanted to go first, one, so I could just relax and listen to the rest of you, not wonder about what I was going to say. But also, I didn't want to have to think, oh, everybody already said those things. What am I going to say? So there you have it. Suzi, I love you, and I'm so glad to be here.
Love you. Thank you.
Ken, we thank you so much. An excellent start for us. And he's, modeled for us 3 minutes or so in our sharing. Because we know we all tell stories that would go way into the night. Marissa, would you like to go next?
Oh,
Sure, yeah. Let me lower my hand. Okay. So Suzi, I can't even remember when we met. I mean, it's been almost 20 years. Like we've, kind of grown up together professionally. You've become one of my dearest friends and closest confidants. It takes a long time to grow a deep relationship. And that is something that we have had the time and the space to do. And both personally and professionally, not only through our mastermind group that we are with, Mike Schmidtman's on the call, and we're representing with Bill Cates and Willie Jolly, and Zamira Jones. We have just an incredible mastermind that has become such an important part, I think, of both of our lives. But beyond that, Suzi, you and I have had this opportunity to cultivate such a deep, deep connection. And, the way I go through life and in the world through my work has always been this commitment to wanting to create a safe space for others where people can come up for air. Ram Dass is one of my all-time favorite teachers, and that's something that I embody a lot in my work. But Suzi, you are one of the most sacred spaces for me to come up for air, right? You're who I go to so that I can come up for air. You are the mirror that I need. You're that voice of wisdom. You're that voice of compassion and love. I know that you want nothing more than the best for me, as I want for you. And so for me to come to you, not only when things are wonderful in my life, but when I'm in those really dark places, you have been a lifeline for me. And you've been a voice of compassionate truth when I need to see the truth, when I can't see that. And so you are just such a blessing in my life, and I wouldn't have missed this for the world. And I'm so grateful that you are being honored this way, because the world needs your light. It needs your love. It needs your light. And it's just been such an honor to be able to be alongside of you on the journey so far. And I know that for both of us, the best is yet to come, and we will continue to be each other's greatest cheerleaders, you know, as we move through this world. So I just want you to know how much I love you and cherish you and honor you and appreciate you, and how grateful I am that you are alongside of me on my journey.
Thank you.
Pascal, I think you had your hand up.
Hi, everyone. I'm Pascal Brady, and hi, Suzi. And I'm going to get emotional. I do that. So thank you for inviting me. Thanks for having me here. This is going to be tough to top. I'm glad that I was third in line. Suzi and I are neighbors, and I feel bad that even though we've known each other since 2005 or 2006, I think it was, we haven't seen each other more than we have, but we kind of like evolve in different circles. And more importantly, I came way after you. You were already a coach for 20, 25 years when I came on the scene in 2005. And I met you at an ICFDC chapter conference. And this was my first. I had just got, trained, maybe certified. I don't remember where I was in my bed. I was really at the very beginning. And I volunteered to do some exercise on stage. And at some point I said that I was a young mom and a beginner coach, and I was looking for other young moms, coaches that would like to start a group together. And lo and behold, Suzi, who had been a coach for 25 years and probably by then already in MCC, came and talked to me afterwards and said she'd love to be part of that group. And so we created the Montgomery County mom coaches Montgomery County mom coaches. So it was MC Square was the name of the group. And we were all 4, 5, or 6 of us, we were beginner coaches or at the very beginning of our path. And Suzi was the only seasoned coach in the group. And so what I want to tell you, Suzi, is that I was blown away that you'd want to spend time with us. Like, what did we have to contribute to you? Why would you? And you gave us so much wisdom, and you shared with such generosity, and you never looked down on us, and you never treated us like you were superior and we were inferior, or we were newbies and you weren't experienced. And it gave us such a gift to learn from you, to learn from somebody who was so far ahead of us on the path, both because you had so much to share and so much to teach us, but also because you weren't arrogant about it. And it wasn't like you were looking down at us in our path. And so this in and of itself was a lesson in coaching, this equality and this non-superiority that you extended to us, and this generosity that you extended to us. And then I want to say, we haven't met on a super regular basis over the years, again, because I'm a life coach and we don't do exactly the same things. But when we do, we meet for our little coffees, we have what I feel is a pretty intimate relationship. And you help me with my shit. And I think sometimes I've been there to help you with yours, and I've listened to you. And I've just always been just incredibly grateful that we have this thing. And I know you have this. I've always been a little jealous because you have this with 250 other people, not just me. But it made me feel special nonetheless to be blessed to have you in my life, in my work life, to have you to call every time, and you've been, again, over the years, just so generous, introducing me to CAM and to other places, and just always answering when I have any sort of question without any hesitation and any fear that I'm going to steal from you or anything like this. So I want to second also what Ken has said, which is I cannot believe the amount of work that you produce and what you give the world of coaching. You just never stop, you never slow down. You are an incredibly creative person. You go everywhere, you do everything for everyone. So yes, we're all the world of coaching, the world at large, everybody on this call and myself, we're incredibly, incredibly lucky to have you. So glad to be here.
Thank you.
So what we need to do, we need to make this a truly international conversation. And we have someone who's from the exotic, faraway country called Canada.
Oh, you.
I think that's somewhere north of us here in the United States. Garrett.
Well, and I'm not the only one. Michael Bungay-Stanier's here. Dorothy's here. Lots of Canadians in the house.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, my Susie. So I'm trying to remember when we first met. It's got to be at least 20 years ago.
At least.
And everywhere I went, I was either invited by Susie or Susie was a part of it. CAM, ICCO, the Library of Professional Coaching. She's been on our editorial board forever. She's my personal guru for the business, and she's my personal. You are. Sorry, I'm going to just talk to you. Susie, you're there for me all the time. Like some others have said, I have no idea how you do it, but you have time for all of us. When we have our highs, when we have our lows, you are there. And we've shared a few of our own. And one of my favorite stories, though, and I have to say this, is she has this kind of thing for Disney. Okay. So I still remember you, me, and Wendy taking that monorail to go for dinner in Disney because we were not leaving Florida until Susie went to Disney. Okay. And the other absolutely beautiful thing, and this is for you two kids, I'm so glad to meet you. Your mother talks about you all the time. How
much to their chagrin.
Yeah, well, she's so proud of who you've become, what you're doing, how independent, smart. Seriously, I talk to your mom about like at least once every 2 weeks. And there's always something about the two of you. So, Susie, thank you for sharing and for everything you've done for me, for the coaching industry, and for all of the people here who love you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pamela?
Wow. Susie, look at this. This is amazing. I'm really jealous too. Pascal is your neighbor, so you ought to be really happy that I'm not your neighbor because I'd be over your house every day. I'd be the neighbor looking through the windows, trying to figure out, are you hiding from me or not with that cup of coffee or something? But I only met Susie a couple of years ago, and there are just so many words that that come to mind, and intentional. She's such a credible individual. She reaches out, she shares willingly. She's so incredibly lovable, and it's just like she's just my girlfriend, and I'm actually her favorite. I hate to tell you all this. It's just gonna put it out there. Just a little below the kids because, like everyone has said, she loves you all. There's no way we're gonna love you both. So I'm not gonna try to usurp that role, but she's really engaging. I love the time that we get to share where we say we're gonna have a cup of coffee and it turns to lunch, and then we're closing down the restaurant before they have to get ready for dinner. She creates these incredible, someone said sacred space. I thought that was such a good way to describe who she is. I love the fact that the way that she is, someone also said like being family focused, and she is like a big, huge hug. She's like a giant hug. When I see her, I can just exhale all over her. She brings you in and makes you feel human and normal, and that it's okay to not have all your crap together, right? I know in front of the whole world, we try to make everyone feel like we have it all together and we're killing it on the scene, but behind the scenes, we don't have anyone to, no shoulder to cry on, and no one to, help pull us together. And I just love being able to come to Suzi with my humanity, and she receives it without judgment. She is truly someone who is a mile wide and a mile deep, and I am so grateful to have you in my life. And I look forward to our future coffee conversations, to hear more of your wisdom. So just congratulations on this. It's so deserved. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
So
Oh,
that's what this is. It's a collective hug for Suzi.
Yes.
Best definition. Laura, would you like to go next?
I would love to. Hi, everybody. I'm Laura Berman, Fort Gang. And we've moved heaven and earth literally to be here because we had an earthquake on my side of the world yesterday. And just an aside, we just happened to be, my husband was in the car when it happened, and the song was, I feel the earth move.
No,
Yes.
not really.
Swear. Yep. So, but that's, I think it's appropriate. The heavens are, and the earth is moving for Suzi today. Suzi, we are so honored. I mean, everyone is saying it. You have the huge heart. You're a caring and over and above friend, just so present and such a warm, safe space to land. Agnes, you said collaborative generosity. I think that explains Suzi so well. And Suzi, I don't remember when we met, and it's actually a good thing, because a lot of times I meet people and it's jarring, like something jarring occurred. But that means we infiltrated each other's world in a smooth way, and it grew. I'm sure we met at some ICF conference, but it grew through conversation at conversation among masters conference, and then we had a little spicy few years as the Superpower Sisterhood that included a handful of women and some of them on this call. And that was just such a blessing to me to get so much more time with you and the women that we hung out with. And I was walking through the mall in the last month with another friend, and out from the shelf yelled to me this journal that was purple with a dragon on it. And I know purple and dragons to be two of Suzi's favorite things. So I looked up the significance of the color purple: royalty, nobility, luxury, and power. And dragons, known as supernatural power, wisdom, strength, and hidden knowledge. So I find it just no mistake that those are two things that you're attracted to on the planet at this time that just so embody so many of your qualities. And I just hope life is kind to you and we can all continue to be in each other's company. Thank you for all you've done to make coaching have an imprint on this world. And you certainly have one, and we love you to pieces.
thank you. Love you.
Love you.
Maybe while a few more voices consider raising their hands, I can read Sharon a second. Let me read a comment or two that we got in writing, and then we'll continue in this way. From Alison Whitmer. Suzi was the first coach to welcome me to DC, and she's never stopped welcoming me. Suzi's endlessly supportive of individual coaches like me, the coaching community, and the coaching profession as a whole. With her love, kindness, and support, Suzi embodies what it means to be a coach. I love you.
That's sweet.
So, Sarah, would you like to go next?
Good. Suzi.
So Shira and I have known each other since high school.
That's what I was going to open with. I might have the distinguished honor of being the person who's known Suzi the longest on this call.
No,
No,
you're not.
there's more. Oh, there's others. Good. Okay. Well, one of.
Ellen's known me since 4th grade. My
Okay,
brothers are here, my aunt and uncle, my mom's here.
All right, I'm among good company for sure. For sure. I can certainly say I knew you before you became a coach. And when you became a coach. I remember when you became a coach, and I remember it was right after the forum. And you decided you were going to be serious about it. And I remember you in your, Rockville apartment and said, I'm going to do this. And I'm like, what's coaching? Right? It's like 1993. You know, Suze, I know we've had our parallel lives and we sort of intersect, you know, once in a while. And I'm gonna cry. I just love you. I just love you. Wow. You know, from the first moment we met, you know, there was that instant chemistry, that instant connection. You are a giver and you're full of love. And that's evidenced by all of the incredible followers you have and friends and encouragers on this call. It's such a beautiful thing to see, you know, Suze, for all these years, look at this. Like, look at this. Amazing. It's amazing. And I just want to see you more. Thank you for inviting me here. You're just a precious joy to the world and to me. And I just thank you for who you are. Yeah, love you.
By the way, part of the reason for convening this today and the ones we've done is what a tragedy it is that all this comes at our funerals. And most of us ain't around to hear what there's being said, I think. And what a blessing it is to hear of this love now, not later.
Yeah.
So agreed. So agreed.
Bob, would you like to go next?
Mom. Oh, I thought you said Bob, because
Well,
that's what your screen says.
Yes.
Oh. Also known as Mom.
Okay, Mom, that would work well. Mom, would you love to do this? What would you like to share with us about this unique person?
I too will get a little weepy because I've known about the empathy, about the caring for a very long time now, and it is such oh, here I'm sorry. It's so wonderful to hear all of you. You know, I've heard about a lot of you because we talk a lot, and she has so many people in her life who she cares about. Oh, somebody has their phone on or something.
John, it looks like we're hearing from your background.
I muted him.
Thank you so much.
Sorry about that.
All right.
But you know, I just have to say that that I knew that Suzi was great at what she did because I had the opportunity. Well, I knew it anyway, but I had the opportunity once to actually sit in on a little bit of a coaching session, and I watched her come up with thoughts and suggestions. Well, now I'm guilty. Thoughts and suggestions that nobody in the room had thought of, and we were all looking at each other saying, how does she do that? And so I asked her about it afterwards, and I figured, well, you know, it's part of it's the empathy, and she said, you know, I just feel like I'm channeling something. Well, I knew she had learned a lot. She had learned a lot from colleagues. She had learned in other ways. But I think part of what makes her this kind of special is we all know the warm, fuzzy part that we love. And that helps her understand people. But she also has the ability to step back and to look at a situation and understand an organism, whether it's a person or it's a business, and figure out what it needs, what would help it function better, and to be able to connect and express that. And I think that's an amazing combination of factors. Yeah. And you know I love you. Also, wonderful mother, and friend and relative and everything else. Love you, babe.
Love you. Thank you. This is all so hard to take in. Good grief. Y'all are schooling me in receiving right now.
That's right. Jacqueline?
Jax, you're muted.
I know. Um, yeah, I'm also, I also don't know how to change my name to Jackie, even though I keep doing it. It keeps going back to Jacqueline. So I think my mother's yelling at me.
Well, before you talk, Jackie, I have to acknowledge Jackie, because 32 years ago, it was Jackie who trained me as a coach and has been not only my mentor coach, but just dear friend and lifeline ever since. And so, Jackie, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you.
Susie. Yeah, I could talk for way too long, but I want to say I agree with Bill that this should happen for everyone. And I am so, when I got the invitation, I started to cry. It's like, oh yes, this is exactly what's wanted and needed at this particular juncture in life. So the two things I want to talk to. When I first met Susie, it was like, I wouldn't say she wasn't sure of herself. In fact, there is this steel rod of confidence inside her, but from time to time she loses it. And at that point, you know, she really needed a lot of people to say, no, you can do this. And it was so clear this is what she wanted to do. So one of my favorite things in life has been watching her bloom and grow and become this major contributor on the planet. And you've all talked about that. There are two things I want to talk about, though. And her mom mentioned it, but I want to mention it because I've watched her. I've been there for all the big, you know, her marriage, the pregnancies. I was at your bris, Brian. I'm sorry. And I was holding Sam and meeting her brothers a long time ago at various events and bar mitzvahs. The thing I most love about Susie, though, is her ability to be a peacock. Somebody told me once, I don't know if it's true, that peacocks eat poison and just get more beautiful. She has a particular relationship with trials in life that I know she thinks she's not going to get through, but on the other end of it, she is more amazing. She's used every piece of it to give away to other people. And I think that's the center of her ability to coach so profoundly. And she's got this generosity, and it's just so much ingrained in her. If she gets anything, she gives it away. If there's any piece of knowledge or a client or a gift she can give somebody to boost them on their way, it's just such a natural act for her. And I have loved watching her be a mom. And because that is the most precious joy to her. And she's a very conscious mom. And even when things have been like, I don't want to go through this, there have been times, kids, she again has kind of grabbed onto it and used it to become a better person, a better mom, a better giver. And it really, Susie, it is a joy in my life to kind of go on this journey with you and to be an observer and a friend and a confidant and vice versa. So I really appreciate and have great gratitude for our relationship.
Me too. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Love you.
Lori?
Susie, it has been so fun. That's my call. That's my call right there to become great with Susie on the phone. God, thank you so much for this invitation. I wouldn't have missed this for the world. My son's a collegiate golfer. I'm at a golf tournament right now. So I appreciate the break because they're making us walk 36 holes today. So I appreciate the time that I get to come into the clubhouse and just be with you and tell you how awesome you are and how I have such immense admiration and gratitude to you. And you personally have profoundly impacted my life, my career. I have kids the same age as Susie's, a boy and a girl. And so she has helped me walk that journey, which hasn't always been so fun. And it's been challenging and wonderful all at the same time. So I thank you for that. But you really have transformed me. And the trajectory of my life and my career it wouldn't be the same without you in my life. And we've known each other forever. And I remember when I had an opportunity to choose my coach, and you were the first one I called, and your response back to me was, have you interviewed anyone else? And I said, no, I haven't, but I feel a connection. And you said, go interview someone else. And I did. And I didn't even make the full hour on either of the other two calls because I knew firmly like you were my person that I had to be with. And you become more than a coach to me. You're a friend, you're a trusted advisor. And just to let you know how impactful you have been in my life. Truly, I'm so blessed to have you in my circle of friends and in my life as a coach. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Renee.
Renee, you're
You're
on mute. You're on mute.
Okay, now I all right, Susie, I'm going to try my hardest not to break out into tears here. So before I speak to you, I want to speak to Brian and Sammy. And I speak to your mom almost weekly. And every call, like someone said, is always filled with tales of the two of you. And it really makes my heart happy today that you get to see how many people love your mom and that you get a big moment to be proud of her because she is so proud of the two of you. So it's really wonderful to see you here. And Susie, I am so happy that I was able to be here for you today because you deserve all this love and it couldn't come at a better time, I think, for you right now. And with the common thing I'm really hearing from everybody besides you being their coach or your colleague or an advisor is that you're everybody's friend. And that just comes from your great big heart and how much you care about people. And it shows up in almost everything you say and you do, that it's always about other people and then it gets to be about you. And I'm so excited that you're going to enter a period of your life where it gets to be all about you and your kids, of course. And and that really brings me joy, although it's a tough time, during the process to get there. Like what people said, you're generous, you're a brilliant coach, you're kind, your intuition is amazing. And you care about the world in such a big way. I've been able to witness that. And what I really have loved is over the years, what I hear consistently from you is that the way you want to make an impact is to help others make their impact in the world. And you've done that. And I hear that from you, and I've seen that from you, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate your coaching when we do coaching together. And I just appreciate the human being you are. You are a model for all of us, I think, and you are an inspiration. So thank you so much for being in my life.
Love you. Thank you.
Love you too.
Mike, would you like to go next?
Sure. And for those of you who don't know me, you will be surprised that I am somewhat succinct in my comments. As somebody who filibusters for a living, a very famous presidential speechwriter once said, "Big things are best said with small words." So, thank you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for always being there.
Mike, do you want to go?
I will. Thank you, everyone. I remember very clearly when I met Suzi for the first time. It was maybe 20 years ago, and I was a member of the Renaissance Executive Forums run by Lee Self. And Suzi came in as our subject matter expert, and she did an exercise with the group. There were maybe 12 of us in the room, and she passed out a green cardboard sheet of paper and asked us to write our name at the top and then pass it to our right. And that person needed to write something they admired about that person, and they passed it again and again and again and again. And when that card got back to me, it had 11 or so comments from my colleagues. And I'll never forget how that made me feel. I didn't realize what all these people thought about me as a friend and a contributor and a member of the group. And I feel probably, Suzi, you feel the same way today. To hear all these wonderful things that people think about you. But I have to say, I looked at myself in a different way after that meeting, and I have that card to this day. It was the most impactful guest speaker. In the 5 years I was a member, maybe I saw 50 or 60 subject matter experts, and Suzi's was by far the most impactful to me. And so we've since continued being friends. I love Suzi and your family. And I think your greatest gift is that you have a way to get people to see themselves for what they can be and not who they think of themselves. And that gap is, in many cases, very significant. And I'll never forget, and I just want to thank you for having you help me see myself for what I could be. So thank you, Suzi.
Thank you, Mike.
David, but then also we then get the true story from those two little rascals that are apparently loved by their mothers.
David, I'm so happy to see you.
Suzi. So first, let me take a moment and express deep gratitude to Maureen and William and the Professional School of Psychology. This is incredible, and I'm truly grateful that y'all have taken this moment to recognize this amazing human being. Also, quick shout out, thank you, immense amount of gratitude to Renee for connecting Suzi and I so many years ago. Now, truly nothing but immense gratitude to you, Suzi. There are those individuals in your life who you can say unabashedly, without thinking twice, that they had an impact on you and changed the entire course of your life. I hear a lot of that in this room, and truly I can say, like, Suzi is one of those people for me. In my professional life, in my career, in my personal life, in in all those times in my marriage where my wife has said, "Thank God you talked to Suzi," and into me becoming a parent and having this wonderful little toddler around. The conversations we have had, the reflections you have shared back with me, the moments you have helped me think through and dig into some of the most complex and challenging things I've ever faced, and helped guide me to the place where I had the courage to do what was right, the ability to stand up and truly, without hesitation, stand up for the people that are with me, that are beside me, that are working alongside me, that are working for me. Just the true centering and space from which I operate gives me the ability to always come back to the conversations we've shared, the lessons you've taught me, the mentorship, the coaching, everything. Like, truly, my life is better for having known you and always will be. I mean, like there are so many things I could say, but I think I can say nothing deeper than that. That truly, I am blessed, and I am so eternally grateful for the incredible person you are, for how giving you are, for all the work that you do in the world. It matters in so many ways, and like I know we're all on this call, and so many of us have had our lives impacted by your incredible work. What we don't see are all of the millions of network nodes and connections that are all impacted by the change you have had on our lives, and the way that your incredible work, your incredible heart, your deep spirituality and wisdom impacts not just the people you talk to, but everybody around you and everybody throughout the world.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything. Truly, like I can say nothing more than thank you from the deepest bottom of my heart and through my soul.
So I think it's time for some voices from the Pomerantz family.
Hello. Thank you, everybody, for being here to support my mom. We're both really appreciative about it. And Mama, we're really, really so proud of you and thankful for everything you've done for us. And we love you so much. So happy to see you.
Thank you. Love you.
I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's here. It's so wonderful to see all your faces and to put names to faces that we've been hearing about for years. It's so wonderful. And I know you're all a big part of our mom's life, and you really make a difference for her. So thank you.
Great kids, great kids.
Danny, would you like to go next?
So I didn't know if I could be here today, and that's part of the reason that I didn't send in anything, but it's probably just as well that I didn't. And in listening to everything that everyone has been saying, I could repeat it all, but there are moments in your life where you turn around and you look back and you go, that's when everything changed. That's when I went on this course. And when I started to get to where I am now was when I was in the middle of a really froofy, very ugly sorority house at the University of Virginia and surrounded by froofy sorority girls. And this random person walks across the room, breaks into the circle and starts talking with her hands. And I thought, I like this girl. All right, maybe I'll come back. And then it rained the next night and I didn't go anywhere and I gave up. And then I saw her again in a class from afar. And then I saw her again in another class from afar. And then we were both in the ed school together in the summer of 1988. And we introduced ourselves to each other and that was it. Suzi is what?
Best friends ever since.
Ever since. Suzi brought me two brothers. Sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. Two lovely children who I get to dote on and care about and see do amazing things, and a whole family, because what Suzi did was include me in her entire life. And that's not something that everyone does or everyone can do, but she's generous and she's kind and she's thoughtful and she's warm. She's too empathetic for her own good and not selfish enough, but she is good at the things she's good at because of who she deeply is. And I'm incredibly lucky to have Suzi as a friend and consider her one of my two closest friends in the world. It doesn't get better than that. So thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you for everything that you'll do. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for taking care of Skylar. And I look forward to seeing you sooner than later. I love you.
Love you.
So Lynette.
Hi, thank you. I, like Danny just said, reiterate so much of what's been said. It's just been such a joy to sit and listen to all the beautiful things that you all have said about Suzi. And Suzi, I concur with every single one of those. So I'm going to talk about a couple of different things. One, I love that you're getting the Lee Salmon Award. And I went back and remembered the first time that we gave that award out, and it was in the backyard of Susanna Juji Isaacson's house.
Yes.
And another great, coach who has left us. And I just got this image of you standing on the shoulders of both Lee and Suzi, 1 foot on each of their shoulders. And, you are creating that kind of legacy that both of them did. And so many similar characteristics of generosity and deep love and care and competence. So I have a couple of quick stories, and I don't think this has been mentioned very much, but Suzi, you are such an excellent presenter and facilitator and trainer. And I remember when I was in a short workshop you gave at ICF with a partner on marketing for coaches. And to this very day, I use the model you shared with us with all my clients. And I recommend your book, Seal the Deal, often to them. And you just floated through that room like the goddess that you are and such a spell, and, had us all in the palm of your hands. And that is a moment in time that I will never forget. And I am sure you have replicated many, many times. The second thing is you gave me the model of you can schedule your own professional life. And I am forever grateful for that, because I was locked into the Monday through Friday 9 to 5 thing. And you were the first person I ever knew who said, I don't do that. I take Mondays and Fridays off. And that you had created a full-time coaching schedule on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays. So I have done the same thing. And it has meant so much to me through the years. And then finally, I just want to say that the coaching mastermind group that you and I have been a part of for so many years, 4 of us met monthly. We called ourselves the Muses, has been such a joy in true collegiality through laughter and tears and diving deeply and sharing resources and ourselves and our struggles and triumphs with each other. It's just been such a blessing in my life. And I love you, just like everybody else on this call.
Love
Thanks
you.
for including me today.
Thanks, Lynette. Feel better.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
David, would you like to join us?
So I'm kind of a Suzi newbie. I've only known her maybe a year and a half, 2 years. I met her through a friend's party, Sean Adler on the phone. And what's remarkable to me, how the same person that I know from fun drinks at a pool party is the same person you all know through all the different experiences, all the different ways in which you've encountered her. It's the same wonderful, multidimensional, spiritual, compassionate, insightful person. Over gin, somehow in 5 seconds, we were talking about God and heaven and the life after death. And like, oh, this is the kind of person I want to hang out with more. So, we kind of stuck it out. But what's also occurring to me is the echoes of that authentic person that she is echoing in everyone here. This is a truthful moment. This moment is real. The moments when you second guess yourself and you doubt yourself and you wonder, what should I have not? Those are the voices that are leading you astray. The voices now here, this is true. And I just saw The Prince of Egypt the other day. If any of you celebrate Easter or Passover, please watch that film. But that song, Through Heaven's Eyes, how we really lack the capability to truly see ourselves and what we're worth and what we mean. But in a moment like this, you're getting that rare opportunity to see yourself through heaven's eyes, the love, the honesty, the beauty present in this space. is a reflection of the truth of who you are. So thank you, Suzi.
Thank you. Wow.
Oh, let's take a deep breath from this wonderfulness. And Suzi, we want to see what's sitting in the chair next to you.
Oh, yes. So, Janine and Bill and Agnes and Maureen, who organized this, sent me this wonderful package that I'm to open in front of you all. Look at this. So
the three of us strongly believe in understatement. Being subtle.
Yeah. So I cheated and sort of pre-opened the sides a little bit so that I wouldn't bore you all with having to sit through me trying to dig my way through this thing.
Everybody put Suzi in speaker view so you can see her better.
Well, there's a top, okay, here's the, oh, look at this. Okay, this looks like a base that says the Lee Salmon Leadership Award presented to me.
Yes, beautiful.
So this is the base. So I'm assuming that in this bigger box here, this is, okay, let's see if I can do this. Yeah.
It's not a loose side.
Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. Hold on, it's all wrapped up, but it looks very rainbowy and fun. This is gorgeous. Look at this. Wow. Wow. Oh my goodness. Look at this beautiful rainbow glass. This is exquisite. It reminds me a little bit of Chihuly's beautiful work, which you know I love.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. So on the base, can you all see this? No, you can't.
Have to lift it up. There we go. That's great.
Beautiful. Wow. Thank you. This is really gorgeous.
Well, Suzi, there's a lot of thought that goes into that with it. And at this particular time frame that we've heard so many wonderful comments about you, so much truth. We wanted an open bowl, an open container that every time you look at that, you know all these statements and all this love is sitting in it.
Oh, wow. That is amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Wow. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
We were laughing about it.
Suzi, can you hold it up again?
Yeah. Just the bowl or the whole thing?
The whole thing.
Whole thing.
Okay. Look at
Well,
that.
I want to get a picture of you with it. Like I'm going to take a screenshot. Yeah. I love that. Thank you.
One of the things that's interesting, the award has usually been given out with a some sort of display that's been often underplayed, you know, just kind of glass that you see through. And especially with Janine, it became clear that Suzi needed something that was just reaching out, that was filled with color, filled with a vibrance and excitement. And Suzi, I'm not going to say words here. Everyone else has said it, but just there is that vibrance that Janine captured. There is that silliness, by the way. I mean, you can be downright silly. And I just love what Janine put together in that box. That box is just outrageous. And my dear loving friend, you are outrageous and wonderful and very, very special in my life. And I, as a Scandinavian, I'm sitting here tearing up, which is supposed to be impossible for us. So thank you, my dear. And I think Dorothy.
Hello.
Yep.
I think I'm having a technical difficulty because I'm hoping I can say a few words.
We can hear you, so go ahead.
Go ahead.
Right. I raised my hand on this, but I think it's a picnic, which means the problem is in the chair, not in the computer. So I apologize for that. But Alex and I are Suzi's aunt and uncle. And of course, you know, when we talk about, and everybody has said how long they've they've known her and how long since they've met her. We've known Suzi since she was a couple of days old, and has had the pleasure, honestly, of seeing this adorable, wonderful baby grow into an inquisitive, loving, responsible, caring, and intelligent child, teenager, adult, woman, mother.
Old lady.
No, not old lady. We're in our 70s. So you're not anywhere close to an old lady. But the Suzi that we knew as a child and a teenager and a young adult, and has grown into a professional woman, her own company, driven, loving, really high emotional intelligence, and that everybody has seen in you what we've known and seen in you all along. But Suzi, my message, I guess, and our message, life is a journey, it's not the destination. And we all go through different times of being up and being down and being up again. And it's like hills and valleys in life. You're so brilliant in so many ways. And you just need to hear the strength from everyone that has spoken, and some that have sent messages that have not necessarily spoken, and get that strength, because we all go through times when we doubt ourselves. But you are loved and known for who you are. Know it and count on the people around you that have spoken to be there when you need to touch base, because you're more brilliant than you know you are at all times. And congratulations. I agree with a couple of people that said it. It's only when you go through life that you hear these things that they are the most important to you, because they're the things that count, because now you're hearing from so many people that you're not quite sure what they think of you. You think you know it, but to hear it and have it documented by voice or by letter means a lot. So congratulations.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Love
Why
you
don't
more.
we get-
Did it for me.
Yeah, why don't we do this?
Usually speaks for me. So I throw a few words in there.
I'm sorry, we need to have Suzi has some time. We have we have one other person with their hand up, and that may be our final one, and then Suzi has some time.
Bill, I have one I want to read that's on chat that Dorothy had to do before she left.
Okay.
Dorothy Semitovich. Suzi, so lovely to be invited into this room of people. Anywhere you are is the room where it happens. A few words as I have had to leave. We met at ATCO conference in 2006 in Colorado. You were the star event as the trailblazer you are. Whatever you choose to do shows what a trailblazer you are. This tribute to you is long deserved. You are the real deal, as every person here can attest. I see you as the transformational person that you are. You transform the negative into positive because you are a transformer. And you carry us all off to new perspectives because you are the mystical dragon. Great to see your kids as part of today. Great to see the crowd of people. Great to witness this today. Grateful to you. Much love, Dorothy.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Dr. Willie, would you like to go on?
Greetings and salutations. This is Dr. Willie Jolly, and I am honored to be a friend of Suzi Pomerantz, host of the Willie Jolly Show on Sirius XM and a few other things. We've been friends for over 20 years, and I've always been impressed with her depth of ethos, her depth of caring, and her wisdom for listening to somebody's issue and situation and giving a solution to a problem that makes sense. So we've heard so many people have said so many things. I want to make sure that I give a great shout out to the kids, because y'all are blessed to have this mom, and she loves you and you love her, and y'all have grown up in our sight, and we're so proud of you as she is. So I will just give you this one thought. In the 1700s, there was a person who went from street lamp to street lamp, lighting the wicks of the candlesticks So there would be light along the path for the people who followed behind or came that way that evening. That person might not have been a celebrity, a household name, but you knew they had been that way by the light that they left. Suzi Pomerantz is a modern day lamp lighter. We celebrate you, Suzi. We appreciate you, Suzi. And I know your best is yet to come. You're just getting started, and we will probably come around some other time to have even greater acknowledgments about your great work. Bravo to you. Bravo to you. Bravo to you.
Yes. Thank you, Willie. Love you.
Love you.
Whew. Oh my goodness, y'all.
So I think the light's now lamped on you.
Yeah, this is a
Lamped
lot.
on you, yes.
This is a lot, and I actually wrote down my thoughts because otherwise I knew I would just sit here crying at you all. I thank you so much. Hold on, I'm speechless, and I just need to. Okay. It is truly such an honor to accept this award that's named after our dear colleague Lee Salmon, given who I knew Lee to be. He was a gentle giant with a wicked sense of humor and a savvy public servant who built an amazing coaching program that served across the agencies of the federal government. And Lee and I first formed our friendship and laughed a lot together at various CAM and ICF events. We served on a couple boards together. We ran the first ICCO symposium in DC. And it was during that time that he gave me probably my favorite nickname of all. He dubbed me the Mistress of Mayhem and greeted me as such every time we saw each other. And I'm so glad that this award gives us a way to continue to remember him and his contributions to our profession, to our world, and of course, to those who knew him. And it's hard to believe that he's been gone 10 years already. So how can I begin to thank all of you for this moving, loving, beautiful experience? Each of you has in unique ways touched my heart and inspired me and poured into me, lifted me up, and forever left your mark. Thank you all for being here today. Your showing up matters and makes a big difference. And today, this wouldn't be possible without my visionary friend and business partner of 18 years, Bill Berquist, whose generative, appreciative approach to life always inspires me. Each time Bill stood up in one of our professional meetings and said, the coaching community needs, whether it was a library or a journal or a consortium, I always jumped in with both feet just to be able to work with him. So Bill, I am truly grateful for the things that we built together and for your friendship all these years. Boy, seeing special and important people from 5.5 decades of my life all together in one place is really something spectacular. I'm so grateful to each of you for making time to be here and for all the amazing things that you shared. You've wrapped my heart in rainbows and sparkles. I can't thank you enough. My incredible children, you are my heart and you give my life meaning. I love you beyond words, and I'm so proud of the exceptional humans you've become. And even if you weren't my kids, you'd still be my favorite people on the planet. My family, my brothers, my aunt and uncle, my mom, everybody who's here, your love and support means everything. And I can't thank you enough for how you always show up for me. And I'm so lucky to have you. My world-changing clients, you daily give me the honor of supporting your mission and your work in the world. And you impact not just your coworkers and your employees and your families and your communities. You camp out in my soul and you give me purpose. Thank you. dear colleagues and fellow masterminders and my soul sisters, lifelong friends who feel like family, your support and wisdom and guidance and love sustain me and empower me when life gives me twisters. I am here because of you. I couldn't have survived this past year without your above and beyond help and love and support. I'll never forget it. And Bill and Janine and Agnes and Maureen, the words thank you hardly seem sufficient. Thank you for organizing today's gathering. I know how much work it takes, and I'm so grateful. You've been such dear colleagues, partners, collaborators, and friends to me for decades. And I'm just honored to follow in the footsteps of the exceptional people who have received this award before me. So thank you for pushing through my resistance to this glorious event and for being amazing co-conspirators. And I really, I wish there was time for me to thank each of you individually, but we would be here all day. So just know that I deeply, deeply appreciate you and thank you for the gift that each of you is in my life. I treasure you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, very beautiful.
I'm wondering if this is a good time to bid farewell. What more and what better can be said than by our dear, dear beloved Suzi Pomerantz. Suzi, you've done it, my dear friend. And I hear people saying, and you're going to do it even more in the future. And I thought, anyway, I'm glad you all came, and we will be honoring other people in this profession in the future, and on behalf of Lee Salmon. It's an important field, this thing called professional coaching. And I think the backbone of it has something to do with appreciation and love and respect. And this event today and the other Lee Salmon Award ceremonies we've had, I hope are aligned with that spirit that comes with the Lee Salmon Award. Agnes, do you want to say something, Janine, to close it off, and then we'll bring this to an end?
I was just thinking as Suzi was talking, and then you referenced it. In traditional coaching language, it feels to me like our conversation is complete.
Indeed. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
The
Thank you.
library,
Thank you for
will carry-
organizing.
Yeah, the library will carry the recording and all the other written comments as well. Suzi, feel the hug.
Thank you so much. This was so beautiful.
Bye-bye, folks.
Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Love you,
Congrats, Suzi.
Suzi. Love you. Love you, Suzi. Hugs and kisses.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Love you so much.
Hi. See you tomorrow.